everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys, I'm going to be profiling for you my GaGaGa deck, or as some people may call this deck, a GaGaGa Gogogo deck. It just depends what you want to call it. But I've been waiting to play this deck for a long time, ever since I saw in the OCG GaGaGa Sister, and then later on I saw GaGaGa Samurai, because I knew what this deck had. I knew the potential to be a fun, cool deck it could have. Because the fact that GaGaGa Magician can change any of his levels between 1 and 8 meant that you could go for a slew of good rank monsters at any point in time. Also, GaGaGa Sister could search up some very powerful GaGaGa spell cards that the archetype has, such as GaGaGa Revenge, GaGaGa Academy Network, and GaGaGa Bolt. But without further ado, let us get started. Please forgive me if I can't pronounce some of the card names in the archetype, like Adamanapera, but I'll do my best to pronounce all the cards properly. Because every time I feel like I'm saying GaGaGa, like GaGaGa, I'm like GaGaGa. Makes me sound like Papa the Sailor Man. If anybody remembers that cartoon, I feel like when he goes GaGaGa when he starts laughing. So, beside the point there, bad jokes aside. So first off, we run our 3 GaGaGa Sister. This is the main card that holds the deck together. When she's normal summon, you can search out a spell card, and like I said before, you can search out GaGaGa Revenge, which is like a premature burial, which is a very powerful card. I wish Adamanapera was a GaGaGa monster card, but it's not. Sometimes you'll search out GaGaGa Academy Network. Sometimes you'll search out GaGaGa Bolt. It just depends what you're in the mood for at the moment. So we run 3 of those. She's really the heart and soul of the deck, I guess you could say. Then we run our 3 GaGaGa Magician. Some people like running just 2 GaGaGa Magician, but I find 3 is perfectly fine in the deck. You really need it. He can manipulate his level simply between 1 and 8. Some people, like I said before, like running Gustav Max, but I really don't like doing that. You usually only go for Gustav if you're running like the Warrior GaGaGas, because there's spellcasters and a Warrior archetype combined together. But I just play the spellcasters and the Rock archetype, Gogogos. So he can manipulate his level between 1 and 8. He's your main playmaker. You want to get him in the graveyard, sometimes at least 1 in the graveyard very early on in the duel. That way you can bring him back with GaGaGa Revenge, do some crazy plays, punch your opponent for a whole bunch of life points. I'll talk about that combo a little bit more later on. Then we run 2 GaGaGa Girls. Some people like running 3, some people like running 1, some people like running 2. It just depends. I find that 2 is perfectly fine. She's really useful. When you have a GaGaGa Magician out on the field, she can change her level to GaGaGa Magician's level at the time. So sometimes if you go GaGaGa Revenge, bring a GaGaGa monster back, normal summon her, then she changes her level to whatever you change this to. XYZ into a card, and she can make, the cool thing I like about it is she can change 1 special summon monster on your opponent's side of the field to 0 attack. So you can just inflict a whole bunch of life points to your opponent like that. So really nice card, but more than a 2 of I think is a little bit too much. Then we run 2 GaGaGa Child. Some people like running 1, some people don't like running him at all because of the fact that you can't enter your battle phase. But I'll say this, depending upon what Exceed monster you're going for that turn, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day, I find. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're going to go for like a Felgrant, that's a powerful card that I doubt your opponent's going to probably get over in 1 exact turn. So if you're doing something like that, he's perfectly fine as a 2 of. I like him as a 2 of. He's very useful. But you special summon from the hand when you have another GaGaGa monster on the field, and then you can change his level to whatever that level you want to be. Then I run 1 GaGaGa Macer. This is a new card that came out of World Superstars set. He's like a Wolfbark, kind of. He's kind of nice. So what he does is, if you have a GaGaGa Magician in graveyard, you can normal summon GaGaGa Mace, target the GaGaGa Magician. Now, GaGaGa Mace does state that you only can go for a GaGaGa Exceed monster that turn. So, you usually will go for GaGaGa Cowboy or GaGaGa Samurai. Now, the reason I like this card is because it's a ditch effort. If you're trying to just inflict that last bit of life point damage into your opponent, you can go for GaGaGa Samurai. If you're just trying to inflict, last life point damage, you can go for GaGaGa Cowboy. You can just go for these cards that can help you in games. So I just like him as a 1 of. He's searchable to go into your Magician, so you can Exceed and go for a GaGaGa Exceed monster. So he's a little nice to have as a one of. More than one, I would not run unless you're running more samurai or more cowboys. Then we run the Gogogo archetype. We run our 3 Gogogo giant. I was thinking about running Mashed Chameleon in the deck, so you could go for synchro plays, but I said nah, because the extra deck is really tight for spaces with exceeds as is. But Gogogo giant is pretty much in combination with 2 Gogogo golems. Is pretty much the main way you're gonna go for rank 4 exceeds. So what I mean by that is your GaGaGas, most of the time you want to go for rank 5 and higher exceeds, while your Gogogos is your stable rank 4 playmaker deck. So these go for your rank 4s, while the GaGaGas go for rank 5 and higher. So that's usually what I find myself doing. And you want to get the Gogogo Golem in the graveyard as fast as you can. I don't like pitching Gogogo Giant with Automapira or with going with Foolish Burial because it's kind of a waste. Yeah, you can go GaGaGa get Giant, bring back GaGaGa Giant, go for an Exceed and all of that lovely stuff. But that's not using your resources. You're wasting a card that you could just normal summon and bring back another GaGaGa another Gogogo, so you could go for a level 4 exceed. So that's just my opinion. So I do like running 2 Golem. He's a beat stick. He's a battle stopper because when he's in the face-up defense position, he can't be destroyed once per turn. So if your back's against the wall, you can maybe bide some time with Gogogo Golem. I know some people just like running him as a one of, but 2 of I find is really useful. And then if your deck's on the offensive, you just normal summon him and he becomes an 18 beat stick that can put in some work there. A Gogogo Giant, his 2000 attack is nothing to laugh at because when you normal summon him, you can either attack with him or you can just go, okay, bring back a Gogogo Giant, a dead Gogogo Giant or a dead Gogogo Golem and go for an Exceed play that way. So he can either be a beat stick or an Exceed monster, depending upon what you want to do with him. But that's the little mini Gogogo Golem engine we run for going for rank 4 plays and pretty much being the beat stick part of the deck. So the GaGaGas, they don't have a lot of attack. The GaGaGa monster with the most attack is GaGaGa Magician with 1,500 attack. That's nothing. Whereas these guys can be beat sticks as well as exceed makers for the deck. So that's why I run those guys in the engine. Then we run our 3 GaGaGa Revenge as we go on to our spells now. Please excuse me. So GaGaGa Revenge is a really, really good card here. I really like using this card. Pretty much, I'm going to read to you what it states because I haven't memorized it fully. So GaGaGa Revenge states, target 1 GaGaGa monster in your graveyard, which is usually going to be GaGaGa Magician. Special summon it and equip it with this card. When this card leaves the field, destroy the equipped monster. When this card is sent from the graveyard, because the equipped monster was used as an Exceed material, all XYZ monsters you currently control gain 300 attack. Now, that's really cool, because the monster you're Exceed summoning into will gain 300 attack. That's pretty nifty. But the fact is, if you have like just a random other Exceed monster that you Exceed summon into last turn, that monster gains 300 attack as well. You may not think at first like, oh, 300 attack, that's not much at all. It really adds up fairly quickly in what it can do. This is the card I find myself going for the most when going into Exceed plays, but I'm going to show you a little combo play in a second, how you can use this card to its most maximum advantage, but it's a really powerful card. And the card I usually find myself going to search off with GaGa's sister for the most often. Then we run 3 Automapira or Automapira. I just call it Automapira. So pretty much this card's really useful. It's a searcher card, and a lot of people say this card's awful because it's a -1 because you're discarding a card. I say to that's not true. You're not looking at this card's full potential in that aspect. So this card states by discarding 1 card from your hand. Is it 1 card? Yes. Sending 1 card from your hand. Yes. Ooh, please excuse me. I'm still sick. By discarding 1 card from your hand, you can search 1 GaGaGa and 1 Gogogo monster because we run GaGaGas and Gogogos. So the way I like using this card is I'm going to show you right now a little combo play you can do. So just say you have one GaGaGa Automatopoeia, and you have, let's see here, we have one GaGaGa Magician. So what I can do is I can go Automatopoeia, okay, discard the GaGaGa Magician. Okay, so I discard the GaGaGa Magician. I'm going to search out 2 cards. So I could search out, you know, depending upon my hand and what I want, I could either search out a giant, you know, or a golem. A giant or a golem, it just depends what you want to go for. But the main card you're going for is the GaGaGa Sister. Okay, so you got your GaGaGa Magician already engraved over here. He's already engraved. You have searched off Automatopoeia. You've discarded the card. Now I can go Sister, normal summon Sister. Okay, I'm going to search out a GaGaGa Revenge. Okay, now my opponent's got that big board over there, you know. He's got a powerful monster, but let's see what I can do. So I've normal summoned this. I'm going to activate GaGaGa Revenge, bring back GaGaGa Magician, change his level to whatever I want to activate her effect to change her level, and go for a big Exceed play. That's one way you can use Automatopoeia. Another way you can use Automatopoeia. Excuse me. Sorry guys, I got something in my throat. So yeah, you can do that, or you can also go with, another cool play with your Gogogo. So say you have this in your hand. I can discard a Gogogo Giant, okay? Sometimes, yeah, you can go discard a Gogogo Golem, a Gogogo Giant instead of a Gogogo Golem, but that's up to you. I prefer to discard Gogogo Golem most of the time. So I can discard Golem, he's in the graveyard, search out, you know, a Sister or whatever I want, any GaGaGa I wish, search out a Giant, normal summon the Giant, bring back the Golem in defense mode, usually, and if they effect failure at Fiendish Chain, whatever they try to do to you, you can still have this in defense mode. But you can go for a rank 4 Exceed play right there and there. So what I'm trying to say is I don't feel like Automatopoeia is a neg 1 card. I feel that it can set up your combo plays in the deck, is what I'm trying to say at the end of the day. So I like it as a 3 of. Very, very useful card. Then we run our your 2 GaGaGa Academy Emergency Network. Now sometimes you'll search this card out. A lot of people don't like it. As a 3 of, I say no. As a 1 of, I think it's okay. But I like running it as a 2 of. But I'll read to you what the card states. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, special summon 1 GaGaGa monster from your deck. You can't special summon any other monsters except XYZ monsters during the turn you activate this card. You can only activate 1 GaGaGa Academy Network once per turn. So, depending upon if I have another GaGaGa monster out on the field at the time, I can activate this, bring out a GaGaGa Magician, change his level, and then go for a big Exceed play. But yeah, it's nice because you only can special summon Exceed monsters. So, the sad thing is you can't go GaGaGa Revenge, bring back GaGaGa, then go GaGaGa Academy Network. No. It says the only time you can special summon a card. So, it's good first turn. And it's good at some other points in the duel, but it's a neat little card to have. I like it as a 2 of. A 3 of I think is too much. But I'll leave that up to you. I'm still deciding the ratio on that. Same thing, I'm deciding the ratio on GaGaGa Bolt. This card I have a love-hate relationship with. I like it because it can target either monsters and spell and trap cards. So it can be a dual threat. I've seen people run it as a 2 of, 3 of, and a 1 of. It just depends upon what they want to do with it. Some people see potential, some people don't see potential. I don't know. I'm just going to say this. A lot of times, it's really nice to go GaGaGa Revenge, or just normal summon a GaGaGa, and you just be like, oh, GaGaGa Bolt, let's destroy that big monster you have on the field, and then I'll proceed to whack you in the face. It's a nice little card to have. I like it as a 2 of, but I'm still debating on the ratio. It definitely should be run in the deck, but I don't know if it should be run as a 1 of or a 2 of. Then we have our more generic stuff now. We have our 2 Mystical Space Typhoon. Just a good card in general to get over whatever is out there in today's game. Then we run for your 1 ofs. I'll try to lay them all out for you guys. We run 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Allure of Darkness, 1 Book of Moon, 1 Raigeki, and 1 Soul Charge. So Foolish Burial is to help set up your GaGaGa Revenge plays. So you go send the graveyard either Golem or Magician. So it can help set up your Your Gogogo Giant plays because you sent Golem to the graveyard. And Magician, likewise, you can set up your GaGaGa Revenge that much faster. Plus it thins out your deck, which is nice. Allure of Darkness, I mean, you got the whole GaGaGa archetype, which is dark, so Allure of Darkness gives the deck a little bit of speed, which is nice. Book of Moon and Raigeki, 2 good cards. Book of Moon's always been a versatile card in my book. And then we have Soul Charge for combo plays. Even though you can't attack that turn, you can just go off with big exceeds plays and all that crazy shenanigan stuff. Then sometimes you can even in-game, if you got you bring out GaGaGa Magician. GaGaGa Cowboy, excuse me. Then we run 2 Fiendish Chain because Fiendish Chain's good and it can help stop things like Castell and 101 from wrecking your Exceed monsters. Then we run 2 Mirror Force. You can either run Mirror Force or Deep Prison. I just prefer Mirror Force because this deck is kind of a little bit slow, but it can come in handy. Then we run just your generic traps. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 1 Compulse, and 1 Solemn Warning. Solemn Warning I run in the deck because, yeah, you're going to take some life point hits, but it's still very decent. I was thinking about running Vanity's Emptiness, but the more I played around with Vanity's Emptiness online with this deck, the more I found that it was a more hindrance to me than to my opponent. But I will leave that completely up to you, so I went for Solemn Warning instead of Vanity's. And then you run Bottomless and Compulse. Then let's go on to the extra deck finally, guys. So let's do that quickly. Excuse me. We run 1 GaGaGa Cowboy and 1 GaGaGa Samurai. GaGaGa Cowboy staple. It was the first GaGaGa Exceed. GaGaGa Samurai is a very versatile card in this deck, and you can go with it with GaGaGa Macer and just make these 2 cards. And then I run 1 card that people are not really looking at a lot. That is number 55, Gogogo Goliath. So I'm going to read to you what this card does. And it's really useful in Gogogo decks. So it states, all monsters you can control gain 800 defense. That's a lot of defense, but we really don't matter about that. You can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, then target 1 level 4 rock type monster in your graveyard and add that target to your hand. You can only use the effect of number 55 once per turn. So you can get back a giant or a golem, most likely a giant, so you can go for another rank 4 Exceed play. Because you can go, oh, bring back that giant that you detached earlier with another Exceed monster, bring it back, normal summon it, next turn, go for a rank 4 Exceed play. So it's kind of nice in that aspect. So I like it as a 1-up. It's really nice. Then we run for your rank 4s, 1 Castell, 1 101, 1 104, 103 Ragnar 0. Yeah, we're running all the numbered monsters in this deck. I know it's kind of funny. So we run those guys, just different scenarios. Then we run 1 Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, 1 Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, and that's all for the rank 4 plays. Then we run for your rank 5 plays. You run 1 number 16 Volcasaurus for your rank 5 Exceed monster. This is the only one we run. If you want to run Terrace and Adrius, go right ahead, but I just like Volcasaurus. Then I run 1 number Naruto. I call it Naruto, even though it says Naruto. The Moral Leader. This card's really good. This is like Shein. So it's very good, like Shein in 6 Samurais. Then I want 1 Wind Up Arsenal Zenmayo. Just a good card for popping back row if you can. Then I won 1 Gauntlet Launcher, and that's all for your rank 6s right there. Then onto your rank 7s, we won 1 Dragostack, 1 Mr. Big Eye, and for your rank 8, we won 1 Divine Knight Dragon Felgrant. If you want to run more Felgrants, go right ahead. The card's amazing in this deck because of the ease you can go for it. So guys, that is the Gogogo GaGaGa deck, I guess you could say, in a nutshell. The deck is very fun to play around with. Like I said before earlier, guys, I'm still testing it out. I apologize, I'm trying to get the camera shot in perfectly. But yeah, I'm still testing the deck out. Also, I'll say this too, play around with the extra deck. You're really tight for space in the extra deck, but you're gonna have to play around with the ratios of how many rank 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s you want to run. But play around with that. That's the only problem. That's the only thing I'm playing around with the most. But this deck's very fun to play with. Hope you guys enjoy this video. And until next time, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and I'll see all of you guys next time. Seto Kaiba, I'm out of here, guys. Till next time. Good luck dueling to all of you.